Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. Remember, no matter who you are valid. And this is like the 14th time I've had to start this. Each time I'll get like 15, 20 seconds into it, and then like, oh, I'll have to stop because I have to belch horrifically. Or, oh, I have to stop because I'm spitting all over the tablet. So hopefully this one's actually going to work. It is a brand new day, and of course here in the Pacific Northwest it's still wet outside. It is just damp. So it's gray, it's cloudy, it's overcast, it's nasty. Oh boy, I'm gonna try to get out more, because while I did go out, and when I went out last night, I made it like a at least four, somewhere between 4, 5, 6 miles on the round trip, so that's good. Not 6, definitely not 6, because I went from here all the way down to the bottom of the Olympic Highway, which goes right into the top of downtown Shelton, turned around, went back up the hill to northern Shelton, and then back up to Walmart. So, thumbs up. I'm gonna hopefully keep up that sort of walk, and that'll be good. In my efforts to put the tablet someplace different, I am now in a place where the wall is. So I've got to be careful not to smack my hands against this too much. Yay! I have not been doing much, as stated, because the weather's just been gray and awful and wet and slick, and I gotta be careful that I don't fall down. So, joy. Trying to do my very best, and I've been sleeping pretty good, putting in earplugs, both ears, and having my fan, my box fan on. Because I turn, once again, the heat off, and then I have the fan on. And as much as there is some hope for the future, not everything is doomer stuff, but you know, I saw one of these people that had uploaded another meme of theirs where it was a TikTok thing where the person was just saying, basically, I'm going to be decreasing my 401k for every single day I can wear a t-shirt outside during December. And yeah, I understand that entirely. When I was a kid, there was snow, a lot of snow. It snowed all winter. Of course, there was times when there weren't, and I was a kid, but there was snow, a lot of snow, every single year. And then even when I was a younger adult, there was snow. And then we started to get closer to the 2000s, not so much snow. And then we had one day there was so much snow it just stopped at Bellingham entirely. But then, from the 2000s on, it really started to go bad. But even though that was happening, in 2012, when my wife was still alive, it would snow. Once a year. But during the time, since 2014, from my wife's death to today, it has gone from snowing about once a year to, well, this year we've had frost for, I think 3 days, and now it's almost January 1st. So, I understand not wanting to try to prepare for the future, because, oh boy, but I can't fix any of this. I can't change any of this. Politically, there's nothing I can do. And structurally, physically, there is nothing that I can do to help, because we have already determined there is nothing that we can do. We passed the tipping point. We're on, I can't remember if it's the Arctic or the Antarctic shelf. Ice that has been out of the oceans for at least hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, is going to fall off the shelf. and melt. And the oceans are going to rise 17 feet. There are places online where you can look up what the world is going to look like, and if you live here in the U.S. specifically, of course, they are centered on the U.S., what the U.S. will look like if the oceans rise just 10 feet. Most of the United States vanishes. Almost double that is going to happen in the next 50 to 70 years. What sort of future is there? So I understand. There are times when I legitimately and honestly am glad that I'm 61, because as much as I don't want to die, I like existing. I like thought processing. I like, don't so much enjoy being organic, but I do enjoy the mental processes that occur from being an organic being that is existing and living. At the same time, I do not want to face what everyone younger than me is going to have to face. Oh my God. So joy on that. I mean, just think, if you think that if you live in the United States that we have a immigration problem, just think about what's going to happen just here in the United States alone when you have climate refugees from another state that has as many people in it as your state, and they need to move to your state to live, but your state, where everyone in your state is living, is now only 1/4 the size. So it's 1/4 the size. You got everyone that used to live there, and now you've got everyone from another state that needs to come in and live there. What's gonna happen? Because that's gonna happen. Oh boy. So, anyway, not to just talk and think about awful things. Oh boy, oh boy. On that level, one of the things I'm going to hopefully do, I want to pull the table outward so I can use the camera from the PS4, because I can tape that easily to the it's a shower pole or curtain rod, and then I use it to dangle between two of my poles, and then I tape the camera to it, and then I put it above the tables. I'm hoping to do that so that I can do a here's how we set up the table to play Final Girl, because it takes a while. It's a big game, and by big game I mean there's a lot of pieces, and because it is modular, well, it takes a while to put things together. After all, 2 of the playing boards for the game are the covers for the box of the game. So it's pretty busy. Good game, but busy. So thumbs up on that. The other thing I want to talk about is with my creative setting. Because I have mentioned before that my cryptids in this setting have a constant burning desire to fill their bellies with human meat. And I have also stated that there are light cryptids and dark cryptids. Light cryptids do not have to, and generally don't, eat human beings. Dark cryptids, some of them have a genetic defect where they have to get what they cannot absorb from the ambient cryptid energy through the consumption of human beings. So it is a small number of dark cryptids that have to eat human beings, and nobody else has to. And one of the big things with cryptids is act within your nature. They all believe it is cultural, but while it is cultural, it is also genetic. there is a genetic imperative to act within your nature. I almost lost where I was going because, boy, I love ADHD. There is a cultural imperative to act within your nature. And cryptids, a lot of what they are and do is a lot of it instinctual, chromosomal stuff that they cannot control. So if they work against that, if you are a cryptid that does not eat human beings, and you start to think, I want to eat someone, you're going to start feeling sick. If you start working toward doing it, you're going to feel worse and worse, physically and then mentally. And if you actually do it, you're going to feel horrible. You're going to feel like you're going to die. You're going to be vomiting up the meat that you've eaten. You're just going to feel like death. Act within your nature. It's not just devouring human beings. Don't do it if it's not within your nature. It controls everything about your behaviors. Act within your nature. And cryptids are certain archetypes. Now, why would cryptids have a constant burning desire to fill their bellies with human meat? I posit in my setting that cryptids are not in control of their own destinies. Human beings, we, and the rest of the creatures on this planet are all subject to evolutionary forces. Evolutionary forces are, that's just a name that you put onto a bunch of things. It's just a resource competition. If you are better at competing for resources, you will outcompete the other things around you. They will die because you do better. And then as you do better within your group, if another one has something happen where they can do better, then they and their offspring will do better and eventually push out the others. That's evolutionary forces. So the rest of our world generally works on that. Cryptids, that's not true. Within my setting, about 10% of what affects them is evolutionary pressures, resource competition, and our world works on, and the world breeds on the concepts of beauty and death. If you can't breed, that affects the future. And everyone as a species, we go and we self-edit ourselves by going for beauty. So joy on that. But they only have about 10% of their genome affected by all of this. The rest of what happens to them, because we are, within this setting, a human-centric system. There are energies that flow out of the gates that are on our world and go into our sun, as well as being released out into the rest of the universe. Within our sun, the sun itself works as a resistor. As it gathers this energy, time passes, and every 15 billion years, our sun will eventually become a red giant. And then when the energy runs out, boy, there's a lot of noise outside. When that energy runs out and it can't do that, it will begin to shrink into a white dwarf. This is what most stars do. But as that happens, its resistance fails, and when it falls low enough, it sparks. And when that happens, it rejuvenates the star, it bursts out the energy, the accretion disk is rejuvenated, new planets are formed, and then it all starts over again in another great cycle. Try to remember where I was going with this. Evolutionary for yes, okay, and so we are a human-centric system because of this. 99 times out of 100, our world and everything is going to come out where we come out on top, and the cryptids live barely better than animals. It's only one time out of 100 of those cycles where it is a humanoid-centric system, and then they come out on top. And by come out on top is about the time of where the Australopithecines is in our timeline. In that timeline, they have eaten every bit of normal organic matter on the planet. From a normal matter outlook, our planet is a dead, sterile ball. On the cryptid side, though, it is a very lush and growing world. And by the time we hit the 1950s, effectively, they have colonized the entire solar system. But in a human-centric time, all that possibility and potential is blown right back into their faces. They live barely better than animals. They are happy with their lot only because they have no other choice than to be happy with their lot. And yeah, they devour human flesh because sometimes they have to. But because they are so affected by us, cryptids are a reflection of our hopes and our dreams, our nightmares and our fears, our best and our worst. Everything we aspire for, everything we loathe. They reflect. And everything that used to be local is now global through global communications. Cryptids that only would be in, say, a small local area in India are now, because of mobile phones, known worldwide. Cryptids are being whipsawed violently, generation by generation. Not physically, but all of this other stuff that's changing our world through global communications, global sharings of all of those things I mentioned. And since cryptids are a reflection of our greatest fears are things like death. And among the things of death, what is one of our greatest fears amongst that? Being eaten. And since cryptids reflect our greatest fears, they kill without even worrying or thinking about it twice. They don't just kill, they eat us. Because they are a reflection of all of these things. Because of these forces blowing back into their faces and holding them back as to a point where they are, again, little better than animals, while still the urban cryptids, the ones that I write about, being anatomically identical to us. Because, of course, even the cryptids cannot access the extra universal planes of reality where all of their cryptid organs are, because they are more than what we can see, and even more than what they can see. They are using extra universal cryptid organs to detect things that we can't see, and sometimes things that even they wouldn't be able to see. But they desire human flesh because we fear being killed. We fear being eaten. So thumbs up on that. Anyway, though, I'm going to try and get together the final girl stuff and record that. I'm going to try and do some other things if I can't do that. It is hard to say. I need to get some things so I can actually record better because I put my tablet in its case and I don't have a good thing that can grab the whole case and tablet together, and I don't want to just keep taking it out because each time you take a tablet out of the case is going to hold the tablet just a little bit not as well. So, stuff I'm still working on. For each and every one of my Patreon patrons, thank you so very much. You're beautiful and awesome people. Without your help, I would be a hurting monkey. I don't think I would be a hosed Christmas monkey. I'm not sure yet. I haven't had January 1st's disability show up, so I don't know but we shall see. But thank you, each and every one of you. You are beautiful and awesome people. For each and every person that has left me a comment, thank you. It is appreciated again. Definitely a huge amount. So thumbs up on that. And as stated, I'm going to try and do what I can do. And you try and do what you can do, because that would be awesome. Definitely a thumbs up on that. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. And now, through the power of editing, even though I'm almost tripped over my garbage container, through the power of editing, even though my stop recording button is on screen, and so my tablet reacher stylus goes off screen like that, I can, however, go like this.